Where is he? I can't see him. Look again. He's under. Nekoa's not letting go. Someone call 911. Divers rushed in. The crowd screamed, but it was already too late. This wasn't just a tragic accident, it was a warning. One ignored for years, and if it shakes you, it should. Because it's not the first time. And if nothing changes, it won't be the last. It was supposed to be just another show at Ocean Dome Marine Park in San Diego. Another performance. Another round of applause. A routine dance between man and orca, perfected over years of training, trust, and repetition. But that day would end in silence. In front of a full arena, under a bright afternoon sun, something snapped. And Sam Collins, beloved trainer, just 28 years old, never surfaced again. Sam wasn't just another employee. He was the heart of the team, the one who stayed late, the one who knew every animal by name, the one who believed that love and patience could overcome fear. And to him, no orca needed love more than Nekoa. Nekoa was massive, powerful, and feared. Captured as a calf off Iceland, he'd spent more than 20 years performing in concrete tanks. Most trainers kept their distance. He was known to be unpredictable, even dangerous. But Sam saw something else. He saw a soul broken by isolation. Not a monster, but a prisoner. So he tried to heal that wound. With time, trust, and connection, he spent extra hours with Nekoa, learning his moods, adjusting routines, trying to build something real in an environment that was anything but. But captivity doesn't forget. And on that stage, during a moment that should have been safe, everything unraveled. Sam didn't die because of a mistake. He died because a warning was ignored. We keep calling them accidents, but how many more times will it take? We tell the stories they try to bury. If you believe animals deserve freedom, and if you believe Sam's story deserves to be heard, like, share, and subscribe, because the truth matters, and this can't keep happening. Sam Collins believes in something bigger than tricks and applause. He believed that humans and killer whales could form a bond, not for entertainment, but for something deeper, something meaningful, something beautiful, and for a time, it seemed possible. Sam and Nekoa became the stars of Ocean Dome Marine Park. Their connection was electric, their timing flawless, their shows stunned audiences, whispered signals, moments of real affection. To the crowd, it looked like trust, like magic. But magic has a price. What most people didn't see, what they chose not to see, was where Nekoa came from. Captured in 2001 off the icy coast of Iceland, Nekoa was just a baby ripped from his pod. Never saw his mother again. From that moment on, his life was tanks, transport crates, and strangers. He spent over 20 years as a performer, shuttled between marine parks like a prop. He developed open sores from poor water conditions, ground down his teeth chewing the steel gates, spent long, silent hours floating listlessly, a behavior called logging. Experts say it's a sign of deep psychological distress. He was no stranger to danger either. In 2011, he dragged a trainer underwater. They barely escaped, suffering a dislocated shoulder. Still, he was the crown jewel of the park, over 20 feet long, nearly 6 tons, a true giant. Sleek, powerful, breathtaking. His tail slaps could rattle the glass. His breeches soaked the crowd. Kids screamed, parents cheered. But beneath the cheers, Nekoa was changing, and so was Sam. Behind the smiles, behind the routines, something wasn't right. The bond that once felt like hope was becoming something else. By 2014, something had changed. Nekoa, the prized performer of Ocean Dome, refused to perform. In front of a packed crowd, he circled the tank for over 10 minutes, agitated and restless. Internal reports labeled him unpredictable, high risk, even difficult. But Ocean Dome needed a star, and as long as Nekoa kept drawing crowds, the show had to go on. Behind the scenes, though, staff were whispering. He'd stopped responding to cues, stopped eating regularly. His once curious eyes now stared straight through people. What looked majestic on stage was masking a storm, one that had been building for years. And in August, it finally broke. This wasn't a random accident. It was a pattern, a slow, rising tide of red flags, each one louder than the last, if anyone had been listening. Just 6 weeks before the tragedy, during a routine feeding, Nakoa lunged, his jaws snapped shut, just inches from a junior trainer's arm. No injury, no consequences. It was dismissed as a fluke, but it wasn't. Soon after, he started refusing basic commands. He'd ignore cues even from Sam. Simple tricks like slide out or spy hop turned into long pauses, or worse, agitated circles, deep dives, tail slaps against the concrete walls. Some days he wouldn't eat until nightfall. Veteran trainers started stepping back. 2 asked to be reassigned, 1 quit altogether. Another trainer, who asked not to be named, claimed she filed multiple safety complaints. All she got was a generic acknowledgement email. Then came the internal memo, 2 short paragraphs, marked for internal use only. It warned trainers to limit close contact with Nakoa, stay on the platform, no in-water behaviors without approval, but Sam never saw that memo. Some say it was withheld from him, others believe he ignored it, trusted the bond he'd built with Nakoa. Maybe he didn't want to believe what was becoming obvious to everyone else. Nakoa was breaking down. Something inside him had fractured. Park executives? Silent. No statement. No schedule changes. The bleachers stayed full. Tickets kept selling. Sam kept performing. Until the moment Nakoa made contact again. And this time, it wasn't a warning. It was a death sentence. Because by then, the warning had come too late. August 14th, 2023. It was a blistering summer afternoon at Ocean Dome Marine Park. The stands were full, over 800 spectators, mostly tourists. Children clutched cotton candy. Parents snapped photos, unaware of what was about to unfold. The 2:15 p.m. Orca show was the park's grand finale, the main event, and Sam Collins was center stage. Dressed in his black wetsuit, barefoot on the platform, he flashed a smile as the announcer hyped the crowd. This was familiar. The rocket hop, a crowd favorite. Nakoa would dive, then launch Sam 15 feet into the air in a dramatic burst of power. They'd done it hundreds of times. Sam waved to the crowd. Someone shouted his name. He nodded, then dove in. Below the surface, Nakoa was already circling. The music swelled. Sam floated into position, body straight, arms out. A trainer gave the hand signal. Then, movement. Nakoa surged upward like a torpedo, but something was wrong. Instead of lifting Sam, he slammed into him. Hard. Sam was thrown sideways through the water. From the stands, it might have looked like part of the act. But the trainers knew better. Something was off. Sam tried to reset, swimming back to the center. Then, Nakoa turned. Suddenly, violently, he clamped his jaws around Sam's torso and dragged him under. At first, the crowd gasped. Was it part of the show? A stunt? But the gasps turned to screams. The water erupted. Nakoa surfaced, thrashing, with Sam still in his grip. Emergency whistles blew. Trainers threw in distraction buoys, but Nakoa wasn't letting go. He dove again, surfaced again, shaking Sam like a rag doll. The pool turned red. Panic swept the arena. Parents shielded their children's eyes. Some ran, others froze. The music stopped, cut to static. Then silence. Emergency alarms blared. Lifeguards and medics rushed in. A trainer tried using a long pole to pry Nakoa's mouth open, but the orca bucked violently, knocking him down. It took nearly 7 minutes to pull Sam free. By then, his body was limp, his wetsuit torn. A lifeguard began CPR on the platform. Others tried luring Nakoa into the medical pool, but he didn't move. He just hovered there, still, silent. Blood swirling around him, paramedics arrived, but it was already too late. 2:41 p.m., Sam Collins was pronounced dead on sight. The audience had already been evacuated, many in shock, some sobbing. Dozens of cell phone videos were already flooding social media. The horror spread in real time. In less than 30 minutes, a beloved performance had become a nightmare. Ocean Dome Marine Park shut its gates for the day, but the grief The outrage, the questions, that was just beginning. The hours after Sam's death were a blur of chaos and silence. By nightfall, the story had gone national. Breaking news alerts lit up phones. Orca attack in San Diego Marine Park. Trainer killed during live show. Killer whale strikes again. Ocean Dome's official response? 1 page. Released just before midnight. We are deeply saddened to confirm the passing of one of our valued team members following an incident involving one of our marine mammals. Out of respect for the family and ongoing investigation, we will not be commenting further at this time. No mention of NACOA, no reference to past warnings, no accountability. Behind closed doors, legal teams scrambled. Damage control was underway, before Sam's body had even been released to his family. Staff were silenced. Emails vanished. Safety reports scrubbed. Even the show schedule disappeared from the park's website. But the internet doesn't forget. By the next morning, raw, shaky footage from the bleachers surfaced. NACOA dragging Sam under. Screams in the background. Sam's body pulled lifeless from the water. Each clip more gut-wrenching than the last. Within hours, millions had seen it. Hashtags began trending worldwide. Justice for Sam, Free NACOA, Ban Marine Parks. Then came the protests. By day 3, dozens stood outside Ocean Dome's gates. Signs read, "Captivity kills," "Blood in the water," "Shut it down." Some were lifelong animal rights advocates, others were locals, deeply shaken. Many were former guests who said they'd never come back. Still, the park stayed silent. No press conference, no interviews, no mention of the internal memo that warned against close contact with NACOA just weeks earlier. But something did change. Quietly, without notice or explanation, NACOA was removed from the show lineup. No farewell, no retirement, no word to the public. The star was gone, and the truth was only beginning to surface. One day, NACOA was on the posters. The next, he was gone. No announcement, no explanation. Rumors spread. Maybe he was moved to a private tank. Maybe he was being retrained out of public view. The park said nothing. But their silence said everything, because this wasn't just a tragic accident. It was a system built on silence, profit, and ignoring warning signs until someone paid the ultimate price. Sam Collins was not the first trainer to die in a marine park, and unless something changes, he won't be the last. His death reopened a dark chapter, a history that parks like Ocean Dome have spent decades trying to bury. In 2010, SeaWorld trainer Don Brancheau was killed by an orca named Tilikum. Tilikum had already been linked to 2 other deaths. He was still performing. In 2009, in the Canary Islands, a trainer named Alexis Martinez was killed by an orca named Keto. Internal reports showed signs of aggression for weeks. No one listened. In the 1990s, Ken Peters was dragged to the bottom of a pool by an orca at SeaWorld San Diego. He survived. The video didn't surface for years. Different parks, different names, same pattern. Dr. Laura Myers, a marine biologist with over 15 years studying captive orcas, said it best. These are apex predators, intelligent, emotional, social, but they're also powerful. And when you strip away their freedom, they begin to break down. And when they break, people die. Former trainer Marcus Hayes, who worked with Sam at Ocean Dome, put it even more simply. Sam loved that whale, and maybe, in his own way, NACOA loved Sam too. But love doesn't cancel out trauma. That show was a time bomb. We all knew it. These aren't accidents. They're warnings. But the show goes on. Smiling trainers, dancing whales, splash zones, souvenir cups. Behind the smiles, there are scars. Behind the music, screams. Behind every ticket, there's a cost. Sam is gone, but what happened to him should never be forgotten. Because captivity doesn't just kill people. It breaks orcas from the inside out. In the wild, orcas swim 100 miles a day. They live in family pods, speak in dialects, mourn their dead, form lifelong bonds. In tanks, they swim in circles. They float, still and lifeless. A behavior called logging, a sign of severe distress. Their dorsal fins collapse. They grind their teeth on metal gates. They develop ulcers, infections, broken jaws, and open wounds. Some stop eating, some bash their heads against the walls. Most have never even seen the ocean. They were born in captivity, raised behind glass, torn from their mothers, taught to perform before they could understand what freedom even meant. But there's another way, a better way. Marine sanctuaries, netted ocean coves where retired orcas can live out their days with dignity, still cared for, no longer performing. They can feel the currents, hear the ocean, see the sunrise over real water. It won't erase the trauma, but it's a beginning, and it's already happening. In Iceland, in British Columbia, it's real, it's working. The question isn't, can we do better? It's, will we? Because every show, every clap, every ticket feeds a broken system, one that puts profit before life. We can do better. We must. For Sam, for Nakoa, for the countless others still behind the glass. Sam believed in the connection between humans and animals. He believed orcas could trust us, and that we could be worthy of that. But the system he believed in failed him. It failed Nakoa, and it's still failing, every single day. But it's not too late. If this story moved you, don't let it stop here. Share it. Talk about it. Support sea sanctuaries. Demand accountability. Challenge the illusion. Because when we stay silent, the cycle continues. For every trainer unaware of what might happen, for every orca born in captivity who will never know the sea, do it for Sam. Do it for Nakoa. Because freedom shouldn't be a privilege for some. It's a right. For all. Thank you for watching. If this story mattered to you, like, share, and subscribe. Let's raise our voices together and make sure no more lives are lost to silence. This isn't just about ending a show, it's about starting a movement.